Snow White with the red hair may be the most pleasant anime ever. It's difficult not to be charmed by the gorgeous colors, setting, and animation by Studio Bones. If you're like me and are a sucker for this romanticized medieval fantasy setting, then have fun getting swept up in the castle, countryside, and port towns that populate this enchanting world. But by far the most compelling aspect of the show is our main lead, Shirayuki. This girl is the apple of Zen's eye, quite literally, as her hair color is an oddity and stands out amongst the crowd, often being compared to an apple. The catalyst to the show's plot, which leads to the second Prince of Clarines, Zen, meeting Shirayuki, is when the Prince of Tonbrun, Raj, catches wind of a girl with striking red hair and seeks to make her his mistress. A position that many women would take back then, as it would set them up for life, getting to live in luxury. They just have to give up themselves. Shirayuki, though, from the outset, is a person of conviction, would rather rely on her own strength than let someone else force her along a different path than her own. Forging her own fate is an important theme to the show and runs like a vein throughout both seasons. While on the run from Raj's advance, these two meet. The first couple episodes rely heavily on the series' initial premise, the differentiating qualities of her hair and her name, which translate to Snow White. However, allusions to the Disney film and the belaboring of the red hair quickly get shuffled away. I can see a few people becoming tired early on by these two things, but like any stranger you first meet, you explore the oddity that stands out, and once you get to know them, those oddities become commonplace. Once Shirayuki moves to Clarines with Zen, does the show start to shine. The perspective once we get into the castle grounds is not one of conquering, but of routine reports and negotiating with provinces. The slice-of-life aspect of royalty is a great way to humanize the character of Zen, which makes the relationship he has with Shirayuki more endearing. I'll get back to Zen in a minute, he's a great character, but this video is about Shirayuki and how great she is. She is a talented herbalist, a person dedicated to healing the sick. This skill provides many opportunities to convey her caring side and willingness to aid someone in need. It also allows her to be quite resourceful when in trouble. The few times she gets captured, instead of sitting there waiting to be saved, she often uses her knowledge of plants to save herself. It is a job that requires a lot of knowledge and patience, which she has in abundance. This girl is smart, analyzing situations rationally before jumping to emotional responses. This happens often, which allows this romance to never fall prey to annoying leaps in judgment. There's a scene in Season 1 where one of the lords of the castle, Haruka, no longer wants Shirayuki with Zen, as she's just a commoner. To keep her out, he forges a decree from Prince Zen that Shirayuki should no longer be permitted access to the castle grounds, and he himself can't do anything to supersede Zen's authority on the matter, so he has to fake it. But she overhears this, and instead of thinking, "Oh, I thought Zen loved me, how could he do this?" she thinks the cadence of the decree was unlike Zen, and how he would come discuss it with her first. Let me go ask him what this means. By no means is she emotionless, these thoughts are churning through her head, but outwardly she's worried and scared of what might happen. However, she is way too smart to freak out over everything. In Season 2, Zen is forced to have a marriage interview with a daughter of nobility, and while Shirayuki isn't thrilled about this, she trusts Zen and waits for him to clear up any confusion later. It doesn't lead to a 3-episode arc of her stubbornly doubting Zen's word and going off alone to cry about it. All this dumb drama that could have been avoided if people talked about their issues, in this show they just talk about the issues. So in this way, the show isn't just visually pleasant, but the plot never irritates either. Plot is moved forward more by dialogue than fighting. Most confrontations are won by words. Action is rarely employed, only when words won't suffice. Our characters realize when an enemy won't listen to reason and only fight when necessary. This occurs when battling barbarians or pirates, ones who have sacrificed the capabilities to be convinced through an exchange of words instead of blows. Everyone trains hard for battle and hardships, not to go out to slaughter, but the off chance when they need to use it. In a world like this, a character like Shirayuki can shine. And shine she does as everyone takes notice of this girl. You could say this show has villains, but most tend to become allies. They become convinced to befriend Shirayuki, not forced, even though they were just trying to harm her not long before. Lord Haruka, I mentioned before, confronts Shirayuki later in the episode. His fear is she will use Zen's name to advance up the ladder, believing no person exists that would not take advantage of this relationship. Haruka is on a mission to get rid of this girl and keep the prince safe. When they meet, she never once uses Zen's name to win the argument, but just by her own accord, she convinces him to let her stay in the castle. Which is hilarious because he is the one that used Zen's name for ill will by trying to keep her out, than her using it to stay in. Oh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff there, Mr. Haruka. Get exposed, okay? Get exposed right here. Prince Raj, the man who treats her like an object at the beginning, goes through a phenomenal character arc. He always was a shameful prince who only cared about women and wine, but soon was completely turned around by Shirayuki. He comes to revere her, wishing to do her proud and to later aid in her rescue, leading a fleet of ships against the pirates who have troubled the waters of Tonbrun for years. I can't describe how fulfilling it is to see this bad guy be given the chance to redeem himself and actually do it. Even though he often is not comfortable with dangerous situations, she gives him the bravery to advance. Same with the characters Kazuki and Miyaha. It's almost as if she has like a calm and a like effect on people. Her principles and personality are so strong and infectious she can't help but inspire everyone around her. Even an enemy, like a Viral, succumbs to the strength of her ideals. She refuses to let her connections to people go to waste, believing in them, believing that there is good in them. All these people she puts her faith in, even after being threatened by them prior, lead to her rescue in Season 2 from the Claw. Kazuki, Miyaha, and even Prince Raj all do villainous things against our main lead, later repent and become powerful allies. That's where her relationship with Intendant Obi is so interesting. Second to Zen, he spends the most time with her alone. His life prior to working for Zen was a mercenary type, and more specifically the guy hired by Haruka to keep Shirayuki out of the castle. But yet again, she inspires him to do better and use his skill in noble ways. Now his job is to protect her, but while doing so he grows very fond of her. The closer they get, the more his feelings grow, but out of respect for Prince Zen, he squashes those feelings. It's really interesting to watch this internal battle of what his heart wants and what his brain knows is the better choice. He helps when she's drunk or in danger or weak. He is with her all the time, but the only reason she even needs a bodyguard is since she is with Prince Zen and now a target. Every scene he's in with her has this little bit of tug of war. Sometimes it's really subtle, other times it's dangerously close to being revealed. In the second season OP, Obi is shown with an apple, and right before he gets to take a bite, it cuts away. He's so close but never gets to enjoy it. It's good stuff. I think it's about time we talk about the romance. Zen and Shirayuki is one of anime's best romances. There's none of the awkward and infuriating halts to progression of the relationship that plagues most of the genre. It exemplifies the maturity in the writing, and thus the maturity in the characters. The constriction on the relationship is not some tired and irrational excuse, but a political statement of whether Prince Zen will be allowed to be with a commoner romantically. The show can still work on growing this relationship while having conflicts surrounding its existence. It's a perfect execution of needing to prolong the finalizing of the romance to have more to write about, but not at the expense of the romance. It's heartwarming to watch them better themselves because of each other's presence. They are better people together than apart, and that is what you need in a convincing romance. Any who object to the couple based on established hierarchy usually just have to spend some time with Shirayuki to realize she is special. This is exemplified by the first Prince of Clarines, Izana, Zen's older brother. At first finding Shirayuki a trivial disturbance to Zen's duty as prince, viewing the whole thing as a misguided, immature love. Here's where it gets interesting. Only by noticing Zen and Shirayuki's conviction does Izana's perspective on the situation change. The strength of her conviction to be together leads Izana to express the desire to become an ally to making this relationship possible. It's not going to be easy. With the hierarchical rules in place to limit Zen's choices, he will need all the help he can get to make it happen. Especially because we never once see the King of Clarines, nor does he enter the story at all in the first 2 seasons. We have no idea what type of man he is or how he will react to such a decision. It's this lingering mystery that provides possible intrigue for further installments. Please, 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 please. Being steadfast in your convictions is an important theme that is often illustrated with impeccable detail using eye contact. As Raj becomes a more self-assured prince, he is able to look Shirayuki in the eyes again, something he wasn't able to do since their first confrontation. She even takes notice, just like Prince Izana does when Zen confronts him about Shirayuki. Eyes are very important in conveying the essence of a person, often described as a window to the soul. So many times when being introduced to someone we get a close-up on the eyes, like the leader of the Claw. It's a way to show how dead her soul is, how far gone she has been lost to wicked things, realizing there's no redeeming this woman. Prince Izana looks into the eyes of Shirayuki and is able to notice a special quality. She isn't your average girl. King of Tombaroon too is able to see the effect she has on his son and allows Raj to grant her an official title on his kingdom. She compels those around her and the audience to action. She stays true to herself and is unwavering in her ideals and goals, inspiring those around her and becoming one of my favorite characters in anime.